In lesson number 9, we are going to look at 3-note per string scales. And 3-note per string scales are the easiest scales to learn on the guitar in terms of memorization and building up proficiency and coordination between the hands. So the first scale that we learn in Guitar Scale Handbook is the C major scale, the 3-note per string scale, starting on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And we're going to each, as per the name of the scale, each string will have 3 notes. So the first, the A string, the 5th string, will have C, D, and E. That's on the 3rd fret, the 5th fret, and the 7th fret respectively. So you have to bring your thumb down a little bit around behind the neck just to get that span in your fingers. If your thumb is up here, this is exaggerating it, it's going to be really hard for most people to stretch the fingers out. So you want to bring your thumb down a little bit. That will also let you play on the fingertips better. So going back to this, the first 3 notes are C, D, and E. That's on the 5th string. Then we're going to play F, G, and A on the 4th string, and that'll also be on the 3rd fret, the 5th fret, and the 7th fret. And then we're going to go to the B, which is on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, the G string, and we're going to play B, C, D. And then the next string, you'll have the E here, the F, and the G, okay? And then the final string, the high E string, you'll play an A, and a B, and a C. So a good way to practice this is just to do one string at a time and memorize the pattern, and you might play this between 3 and 5 times in a row, like. And then you may go to the next string, and then you may try putting both of those strings together like this. And then you could take the D string and the G string and play those together. And then keep that going until you get to the high E string. And then you can do 3 string groups together. So you would play the A string, the D string, and the G string together, like this. Like that. And then you can go ascending, going up the notes of the scale, and then descending down the notes of the scale. So together it would be ascending, so now let's look at exercise 1 on lesson 51, and these 3 exercises on lesson 51 are great technique building exercises for these 3-note per string scales. And the first one is going to be on the B string and the high E string, and it's going to have the same finger pattern. It's just going to be 1, 2, 4 in terms of the fingers, and it just goes like this. You can play that a few times in a row and focus on both your left hand and your right hand technique and coordinating both of those, and just have fun with it. Also, try to play it with a relatively relaxed but active hand or hands. Okay, let's now look at exercise number 2 on lesson 51, and we're going to be using a slightly different finger pattern. It's going to be 1, 3, 4, and it's very similar though in other respects to exercise 1. It goes like this. Now let's look at exercise 3 on lesson 51, and we're going to be on 3 strings here, and we're going to be using that 1, 2, 4 finger pattern. And we're going to start on the 4th fret on the G string, but then on the B string and the high E string we'll move up to the 5th fret with our index finger, with finger number 1. It goes like this. So with all of these 3-note per string scales and scale techniques, try to keep your fingers spread out a little bit by bringing your thumb down and playing with the tips of your left hand fingers, and try to keep an active but somewhat relaxed right hand. If your right hand is too tense, it's actually going to slow you down and cause some maybe some issues down the line with tension in your arm and in your hand. So it also it's hard to play in an even tempo and rhythm when your body is very rigid. So just try to relax a little bit, but don't relax so much that you drop the pick or that you can't execute the passages. So have fun with that, and I'll see you in the next lesson.